Hey there, guys. So today we got a new stream, and I'm not going to be going over the Super Clash set yet because unfortunately we're missing. We've got like 95% of the set. We are literally missing, I think, 4 cards. And I was going to go over it anyway, but 2 of them are reprints, and I think that's pretty important. And also, we have no confirmation of an English release date, so I'm hoping by the time we get, because I'm reasonably sure a bunch of things are going to happen in the next week. One of them, I think Japan's going to get an updated ban list to remove a lot of the chaos stuff from the ban list. Two, I think we should get some sort of English news soon, hopefully, because if we don't, then it's probably going to be put in an alternative, and that's going to mean the reprint rarity actually makes quite a lot of difference. And I think both of the things we're missing, one's at triple rare and one's at rare, but we'll see. I might have just miscounted. And I forgot the third thing I was going to say, so whatever. But besides that, we did get a few cards, so I'm just going to quickly go over them because they're pretty interesting. So the first thing we got here is we got both of the new collab flags. So the immediate thing you see, like, there's a bunch of text there. So Conan kind of got the short end of the stick here. It just became a generic flag, but I think they made up for it by scaling it like really high power level. So Bandori, let's go off a bit. Yeah. So you can only play cards from Bang Dream, and the total settlement on your field becomes 5, and you get basically Chaos Territory on your left and right. And your starting hand is 6 cards and 2 gauge. So basically, there's going to be size 1 complete, like, shit out of board. It's very clearly meant to be so you can put the whole band down. I think it's pretty cool. At the moment, it is literally just a buffed chaos flag. Objectively, it's just better. But obviously, we have to see the card support because the whole thing with Chaos is you're running size 3s, your stats were crazy high for the time. Now they're a bit whatever, but still. So this will be cool to see. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm more excited actually for IMAS because this looks really interesting. So at the end of your turn, if your buddy monster's on your field, you gain life, draw 1, and put the top card of your deck face down in your buddy zone. So this is the first flag we've ever seen that actually sort of interacts with your board at any point, really. It straight up just gives you advantage, which is really interesting. And your buddy on the field gets +2/+2 for each face down card in the buddy zone. So already every turn you're going to be increasing your stats by +2/+2 by the end of each one of your turns. And I think it's reasonable to assume they're going to get a bunch of main set cards that also stack things under. So I am legitimately extremely excited for IMAS, which really pisses me off because I hate the show. But the deck looks like, from the flag at least, it looks like it's going to be like really fun. It seems really unique. Both of them, Bandring, still seems pretty unique. We've kind of already had the chaos, but if you looked at Conan, what they kind of did is they looked at some archetypes that weren't perhaps so popular, or not necessarily unpopular, but they'd fallen out of the meta, and they kind of they stole attributes from various places, buffed them, and then just chucked them in. Like the whole detective thing, look at your opponent's hand, that's very Takasuke. The entire thing of Black Orc is like Imperial Core plus Dark Hero plus Oni Assassin. There's like a lot of that there. So obviously Bandori is like chaos, and I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of LDO there, a sort of D share, but for the band. I think that's a reasonable expectation. This, on the other hand, I have no clue what we're going to see, and that makes me really excited because hopefully it'll. I get the feeling it's going to be a deck that isn't susceptible to loyalty though, going off of this. Whereas Bandori, on the other hand, very much will be. Okay, and finally, we got the Promo Pack Promo Pack Volume 6. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Promo Pack Volume 5, but it doesn't matter. This is really, really exciting from a meta perspective, but not necessarily so exciting from a Conan perspective. Biggest Dragon Arms Chaos Triple Buster. So size 3 Chaos Star Dragon World 4/3/5. And actually put it from the hand solidly a Dragon or Chaos on the field. So that's pretty good. And if it's in the soul of a monster, monsters on both players' field cannot be returned to hand. That doesn't say by card effects, which is pretty important. At the start of your player's final phase, if it's cards in the soul, pop card in opponent's field. That bit doesn't really matter. The main bit is this is a very obvious silver bullet for Black Orc. I think it was completely needed. It was really, like, they needed, like, certainly a generic out, spoilers, was needed because the deck was a bit too oppressive. With this running around the format and with the generic out that we've got, I'm actually really excited to see Japan's meta going through to the summer, because we're not gonna really have that for a while, and we're gonna sort of, our tournament season is gonna sort of kick off and we're just gonna have everything in one go, plus UB4 most likely, and potentially set 5, probably set 5. So I'm pretty excited for that. But yeah, this card is really important, really good, and I am pretty sure we're not going to get it as a shop tournament promo. I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being a box stopper, because Bushy really don't like us with promos. A 1/3/1 size 1, a dual Dragon Thunder Empire. If you got an item, it becomes a size 0, and when it attacks for 3 or different world and you drop, it gets plus 3k and double attack. Not great, probably not. I mean, the only reason I could think you'd run this is because it's Danger World. And to my knowledge, I can't think of any cards that you ran in TEF before that were Danger. And you can just send this straight to drop for the name, for the world name, but it's not a particularly good card. Awakened Daily Dragon, Gustal Gardra, 4/1 size 1. Daily Dragon, try Dragon World, 1 gauge top deck soul. When it attacks, you can discard a card, draw 1, and then draw another one if there's a dragon on the field with a move and soul card. I really like this card. I don't think it'll be run, because the deck is ridiculously stacked for space, and you will be running the stuff that pluses you then and now rather than the stuff that pluses you later, generally. Even though this is like a nice card, but it's only a +1. Only a +1. It's still good, don't get me wrong. It's still a very good card. I just don't think it'll see much play. I could be wrong. Probably won't be though. Stage of Shine. Now this is another phenomenally good promo. So it's a Genesis Dragon promo. You can chuck it into the soul, and if it's in the soul, the effect of the card of that card on your field cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effect. Now I believe that the Genesis Dragon Type 3 already had that if you had a size 0, but I could be misremembering. And it's got a counteract. This is the main thing. If the cards in the soul of Genesis Dragon would be destroyed. Okay, so this says, would you leave the field? The other translations I've read would be destroyed. Would leave the field is obviously a much better, because it outs dropping. Either way, you can pay a gauge. We'll assume it leaves the field. We'll assume that the card is as good as it possibly can be. That's fucking phenomenal. Something the deck really needed. And it really sucks that it's going to be a promo, because that's just going to be expensive. Because Genesis Dragons, whilst not particularly good, they're not bad. They're certainly not tier 2 or anything. They're probably going to be low tier 1 or maybe high tier 2. But I mean, when max dragons are running around, like obviously you're not going to be the best ancient mod deck, but they're very much second. LDO is down in the gutter. And this is a card that they really need. So it really sucks it's being relegated to a promo pack instead of being common in the set, and God knows when we're going to get it. I am thinking these cards will come as box toppers for the inevitable alternative set we get with the TEF stuff, which will probably be near the end of the year, because we really do get shagged on that sort of stuff. Finally, by far the most important card we saw today, to be honest, Buddy Trust. So generic, 1 gauge, counter speed, choose 1 of 2. During this turn, damage dealt to you by your opponent's monsters is reduced by 2. So, at the moment, obviously this is nice against Black Organization because they do a lot of burn 1s, and it's kind of nice against Conan because they do a bit of burn. Like this will be really nice against Heiji, because this plus Veil means that Heiji's really doing bugger all. But you know, it's pretty good, but it wouldn't be that strong in and of itself, which to me implies that this is preemptive. There's going to be some strong monster effect damage coming out soon. More importantly, the second effect, during this turn, all monsters on the field cannot bounce to hand, and this is going to be on 1 gauge counter speed spell. which means there'll be times you can play it where your opponent can't spell on it or anything. Not that against Black Orc, which is clearly the target for this card, can spell on it. This card is extremely strong, complete silver bullet. Like I can't like it is blindingly obvious this card is specifically to do with Black Organization. So that Black Orc is going to have a lot of trouble once this sort of comes into English and enters play. So you're going to see really quickly a Black Orc is going to completely die off competitively in Japan, because already Max Dragons were like a pretty poor matchup, and now so before Max Dragons already had like Sharpness Field, which was you were unable to destroy. Now they got this as well, and they'll probably just chuck it in because why not? I mean, what else are they really siding for in the current format in Japan? Sorry, they don't even side. I mean, they might as well just main for it because, like, yeah, Black Orc is everywhere. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff I'm going to talk about today. I will be talking about the Clash set because there's a lot of really cool stuff in there to revitalize a lot of old decks, and I'm mild spoilers. I think the major winners are Chaos is looking pretty strong if they get their stuff back. I'm thinking they're a top tier 1 contender. Athora looks pretty good. They got a really good new Athora. Onis are... they got a good Ibuki. They got a really good spell. The item you probably don't run. You probably run an Electro Deity package anyway. But the new Ibuki and the new spell could be enough to make the deck playable, if nothing else. At least tier 2, which is fine. Plague, I am thinking is going to be like a more of a... I think it's a pick that's going to go under the radar a little bit, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Tef, I mean, it only really got... It didn't. I mean, okay, obviously the last couple of cards could change that, because there are 2 I think we're missing that aren't reprints. But I think Tef got a little bit... Got a lot of 3 body support. It didn't really get a lot of Tef support, which I'm fine with, because the deck was fucking stupid and didn't really know. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.